How's everyone doing? Good? Look at this, standing room only. Standing room only. We might have more people here than the BC Liberals are streaming right now on their little event. Thank you for having me. It's great to be here in Chilliwack, surrounded by so many of you as we lay out, let's face it, Plan B for bringing common sense back to British Columbia. Now, as you know, 2 weeks ago, we were informed by the BC Liberal Party that our campaign was not going to be allowed to proceed, ostensibly because of 4 tweets where I refused to throw the history of this country and our ancestors under the bus and indict Canada for a crime that it did not commit. But we know that is not the real reason they denied our campaign. No, they were scared. They were scared of having a real debate, they were scared of having a real discussion, and they were scared that we were going to win. But in making that decision, I think they made one very, very serious miscalculation. They thought that we were going to go down without a fight. That we, as conservatives and British Columbians who believe in common sense and freedom of speech, would return to our rightful place at the back of the BC Liberal bus. They thought that they were entitled to our support. They thought that they were entitled to our votes, but I'll tell you right now, they could not have been more wrong. For too long, too many British Columbians have been forced to hold their nose and vote for a party that has lost its way and that they do not frankly like. For a party that begrudges its own base, its own members, and its own supporters. For a party without vision and without a coherent identity. And a party whose only sales pitch left to voters is, hey, at least we're not the NDP. Well, I don't know what you guys all think, but I think British Columbia deserves better. I think British Columbians deserve better. And I think in a province as great as this, a province burgeoning in opportunity, we don't need to settle for a choice between the NDP and NDP Light. Which is why earlier today I emailed the BC Liberal Party's executive director to request the immediate termination of my membership in the party and to encourage those who feel as I do to do the same. I had hoped that there existed a possibility to reform and save this party from within. That a new leader with a new name and a new vision could represent itself to British Columbians and regain their trust. I no longer believe that to be the case. The truth is, this party is controlled not by its members, not by its MLAs, but by a small group of unelected, unaccountable elites whose obsession with power, influence, and most importantly, themselves, has left the party on the brink of political irrelevance and electoral collapse. But where do we go from here? Tearing up a membership is easy. Building an alternative, on the other hand, is hard. But it's been done before by leaders like the great W.A.C. Bennett, who built not only a party and a movement, but this entire province, who wasn't scared of being bold, who wasn't scared of being daring, who wasn't scared of the media, and who certainly wasn't scared of the socialist NDP. He didn't focus group every single issue. He didn't put his finger up in the air to try to figure out which way the wind was going to blow. He led by example. He showed the way. And in doing so, he unlocked the potential of this great province and shared it with the world. What has happened to that kind of leadership? that strength of character, that ability, that drive to get things done. What has happened to good old-fashioned common sense? Now, instead of building our future, we tear down our past. Instead of saving up for a rainy day, we spend the next generation deeper and deeper into debt. And instead of helping those who work hard, pay their taxes, and follow the law, we put them and their priorities at the back of the line. It's time to offer British Columbians a choice, a real choice. One rooted in respect for taxpayers and grounded in common sense, and one defined by what is true and what is right, not by what is politically correct. Yeah. So, where do we begin? Well, I am happy to say that the work has already begun. Yes, we have been talking with the BC Conservatives. Yes, we have been exploring other options as well. And while, for obvious reasons, I must be pragmatic about what I reveal before you today, I can guarantee you this. Come the next provincial election, there will be a true common sense alternative on the ballot in British Columbia that every Conservative and every British Columbian who believes in hard work and common sense can support and vote for with pride. And this party will be one that gets the cost of living under control, starting by scrapping the regressive, job-killing carbon tax. One that gets people back to work, that cuts government waste, and shows the bloated, inefficient ICBC monopoly the door. One that defends our resources and resource workers, that supports BC forestry, stands up to activists, and instead of apologizing for our oil and natural gas, brags about how they're the cleanest and most ethical in the entire world. And when it comes to TMX and Coastal GasLink, I can guarantee you we will get those pipelines built. And this will be a party that isn't afraid to tackle the big issues, that isn't afraid of starting and leading the public debate, that will propose serious healthcare reform, that will take politics and ideology out of the classroom and out of the curriculum, and while offering universities a clear and simple choice: defend free speech, defend free expression, or lose your funding, period. Yeah. And when it comes to the recent issue of forced mandatory vaccinations, we can't cower and we can't hide. We have to be clear. And for the record, I am vaccinated, I support vaccination, and encourage others to get vaccinated as well. But Canada cannot become a country where we coerce our own citizens into injecting something into their body against their will. It's unconstitutional, it's unnecessary, counterproductive, and just plain wrong. And for those addicted to drugs, addicted to heroin and fentanyl, we're not just going to leave you on the streets to rot. We're not going to hand out free drugs like candy on Halloween, which is what the NDP wants to do. We are going to get you into rehabilitation, we are going to get you a job, and we are going to give you the opportunity to become a productive, tax-paying member of society once again. And we're going to reopen our mental hospitals to get those with serious mental illness the help that they deserve. During the last election, British Columbians were not presented with a clear alternative. They were not presented with a real choice, but rather they were left to choose between 3 different shades of orange. And the majority of our most important issues were not seriously debated or discussed. That is not the sign of a healthy democracy. That is a sign of a tired, unimaginative political elite who think that they know best, who think your voice doesn't matter, or worse still, shouldn't matter. And I think it's time we use the power of democracy embedded within the Canadian Constitution to shake things up. Over the past few months, I have been absolutely blown away and truly humbled by the level of support we have received from thousands of everyday British Columbians just like you. And even more so, I have to add, by our incredible and I guarantee you unparalleled 200 plus volunteers, especially the who I like to call the Leaning Towers of Power, Harmon and Big Richard. I don't know where Harmon, oh, there's Harmon at the back, and I don't know where Richard's standing. And so many others. I can see so many of them here today as well. So, to all my supporters, to all of you, and those watching online, probably tomorrow on Sunday, I speak to you now directly. Reports of my political death have been greatly exaggerated. And while the path has changed, the destination remains the same. Our fight continues today, tomorrow, 3 years from now, whatever it takes to bring common sense back to this province and back to our country. Never surrender, never give up, and never lose faith in the vision and the dream that is Canada. Thank you all for coming. I'm going to be here, happy to take some questions. Thank you.